Hey everybody, it's Dan with Philosophical Fishing. If you're new here, consider liking and subscribing, and if you've been around for a while, thank you for coming back for another video. As I always say, as long as these videos are helpful, then I'm going to continue to make them. I'm so grateful today that I've been off of benzodiazepines and other psychiatric drugs and illicit drugs and alcohol and everything for over 7.5 years, and I was just thinking about that earlier and how much gratitude I have for that fact that I'm not chasing a prescription. I'm not asking my doctor when's my next prescription due and can I get it early or whatever. I'm not taking anything today except natural supplements and water and food and clean air, and I'm so grateful for that. And I say that knowing full well that many of us are at different places along our journeys, coming off of benzodiazepines or other psychiatric drugs. And there's a lot of people still suffering. And so that's why I'm making these videos is for you guys and to hopefully give you some hope My aim is to give you hope that you can come out the other side of benzo damage and know that you can go on to live a good life afterwards. And I've made other videos about the depths that I've been in and how I've clawed my way out of that to heal and to come out the other side. So anyway, I'm happy to be here today, and I'm happy to be talking about this community post that I put out this past week where I was asking about topics to cover, and would you guys like to see me talk about anything that maybe I haven't talked about in previous videos? And all of your suggestions were so good. I want to make a video on every single one of them, but I can only do one at a time. So today I'm going to be talking about the one from V Walker 1040. And this person writes, how to overcome fear of everything while tapering, post-taper, afraid to go to the doctor/dentist, afraid to take medication, afraid to eat different foods, and afraid to drive. And that's, I think, something that we all can relate to in benzo damage. Is basically just that fear of doing normal, everyday, mundane things. And I've talked to you guys about this personally. I've received emails from a lot of you guys all touching on the same thing. It's just this fear, this agoraphobia of going into a big department store, or a fear of just going to the dentist or doctor. It's uncomfortable and having to make that small talk, and it's awkward and it feels so painful. And it's not only just awkward and painful, it can be downright terrifying. Just to walk into a grocery store, or just to go to your dentist, or just to go visit your doctor, these things that once we took for granted that we could just go do. Now all of a sudden, if we're tapering or we're post-taper and we're past the use of benzodiazepines, our nervous systems are just the state of shock, and we're trying to reacclimate to life. But, we have all this cortisol and these excitatory chemicals in our body just going off like fireworks all the time. It's crazy. And we don't have those nice calming chemicals to just keep us in a state of relaxation. And so it makes sense. Biologically, chemically, physiologically, it makes sense why we react in such a way when we just try to go out and go to the grocery store or go to the dentist. It's hard. It's really, really tough. But to understand that your body is trying to get back to a place of homeostasis and is trying to re-regulate desperately, it just, in the meantime, it can't. There's just situations, there's days when you can't, you won't be able to do it. And you're going to feel like everything is so freaking intense for you that it's almost impossible to just go through a normal day. And it's part of it. It's just part of going through this process. So the question becomes, what do you do with that? How do you deal with it? Okay, well, we know that it is your body and your chemicals in your brain trying to basically keep you alive and keep you safe. We've all adapted to looking for threats in our environment, and that's the brain's job. That's what it's trying to do. It's trying to scan your environment for threats, assess if there's anything out there that it needs to run from, if there's a tiger that it needs to evade, if there's something else, a predator out there that you need to run away from or fight. we're constantly in this state of fight or flight. So your brain is basically telling your body that there's threats in the environment and you need to take action, and you're in this constant state of fight or flight. And really, you're just like trying to go to the dentist or the grocery store, and it's crazy, right? So what I have done in those instances is, this is where meditation comes in really, really well for me. I need to be practiced in having quiet time every single morning. And what I do is I watch my breath. And it's a very slow, simple process of watching the inhale, noticing the pause at the top of the breath, and then watching when I begin to exhale, and then noticing the end of the exhale. And it really slows my mind down. So I'm watching for the beginning of the inhale, the top of the breath, watch for the beginning of the exhale, and the end of the exhale. And if you just did that with me, you may have felt yourself slow down. I felt myself slow down. I felt my whole spirit just stop and slow down and relax. And that is a really, really helpful practice. And if you get in the practice and the habit of doing that every single morning, and you can remind yourself when you're in that state of fight or flight and that tense anxiety, agoraphobia in the middle of a dentist's office or wherever you're at, it will help to slow you down. It will help to slow your thoughts down. Your whole body will slow down. Your brain will slow down. And you might notice that it gives you a little bit of relief. It's not going to take away everything. It's not going to make all of your anxiety float away and you'll be perfectly fine. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying, if you use this for a long enough time, it will slowly teach your body how to re-regulate and how to reacclimate to normal everyday life, which for most of us, normal everyday life is pretty stressful, at least here in the Western world where we've just got so much going on. It's like stress is the norm for us, which is ridiculous in and of itself. That's a whole nother topic. That could be a whole nother video. But the main thing is right now, you're just trying to get through life. You're just trying to get through one day to the next if you're in early stages of benzo damage or you're tapering. So you're just trying to survive, basically. You're just trying to get through one moment to the next. And what can you do to get through this next moment and get to the next moment and then see the days turn into weeks and weeks turn into months and the months turn into years as you get closer and closer to healing? This is a practice that I like to use, what I just shared with you, watching your breath. And just listen, it doesn't have to be this huge thing where you make it, oh my God, I've got to sit here and do this for 20 minutes every single day. Just do it for 5 minutes in the morning before you pick up your phone, before you get on the computer, anything. Sit there and breathe and watch your breath for 5 minutes. And then maybe you can do it a little bit longer, maybe a little bit longer. And use it, incorporate it throughout your day, and you'll start to feel these incremental changes in your nervous system as you practice this. The other thing to know, and this might be even more helpful, but just know that this is temporary. This is not going to last forever. And when it's hard, when it's really rough, when you're really feeling stressed out, when you're really feeling your cortisol levels going through the roof, if you could just remind yourself, there's other people that have been through this and have come out the other side and are doing well today. There's a lot of people who have been through it. And if you can remember that and just trust that they were able to do it, I've been able to do it. And I was one of those that was so damaged that I had no idea if I was ever going to be okay or just be comfortable in my skin ever again. To know that this is temporary. This is not going to last forever. This too shall pass. You will get through this. It will get better and better. Maybe not on a linear timeline, but in general, the trajectory is going to be up for you. If you can just remind yourself that and tell yourself that when you're going through it, I promise you that's going to help you as well. The more things that you can do to try to put the brakes on because your nervous system is just speeding out of control most of the time. So things like meditation, things like watching your breath, things like practicing gratitude when you can, all these things are kind of putting the brake on your parasympathetic nervous system and helping you to slow down and helping you to heal. Have a little bit of faith, just a little bit, that you're going to be okay, that you're going to get through this, and that you're going to heal too. And if you can just hold on when it's really, really tough, you're doing the best you can. Everybody is doing the best they can with this. It's hard. This is one of the hardest things, if not the hardest thing I think a person can go through. So the fact that you're just experiencing it and you're going through it, go easy on yourself. Just give yourself a lot of grace right now, because it's so difficult. It's so tough. The more you can just have a little bit of faith that you're going to get better, this too shall pass. Other people have been through this too. Watch your breathing and see if these things help you out a little bit. V Walker 1040, thank you so much for that topic. I thought it was great, and I hope that I've said something in this video that you can take with you and that it will help you. I love you guys so much, and I love this community that we've built here on Philosophical Fishing. This is all of us. This is not just Dan making these videos. This is our place to come together, to heal, to share with each other, to support each other. And so along those lines, if there's anything else that I can do, any suggestions that you guys have, I'm open to it. I just want this to be a fostering, caring, nurturing community for all of us. And I deeply appreciate you guys. I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next video.